Offices of Control 3167. The overall summary is during this period report, VDCI maintained excellent control of larva and adult mosquito populations throughout the city of Kennett. VDCI strives for the best mosquito control possible. We will also maintain our equipment and continue an enhanced control plan for the 2017 season. As always, all residents with any mosquito-related questions or concerns are encouraged to contact VDCI's office at 870-532-9102. No,
You're going to have to ring her every time.
Yep. That's good. They have this girl, where did you go and speak? She writes these, tell them just real quick.
Well, I did the Veterans Pen contest where you write an essay for the veterans about the U.S. And in my 8th grade year, I won first place in our district. And so I got to go there and just like read my essay to them and get their advice on what they felt about it. And then this past year, I got 3rd place in our district.
Good job.
Good job. The airplane will be here tonight. I couldn't get it any sooner, so we're going to spray tonight, and as needed. The program's been upped somewhat. The mosquito counts are up a little bit, so we're working at it. Anyway, and I hope y'all had a pleasant 4th. We kind of worked at that, trying to make sure we helped out with that. I know, we've got, seems like it wants to rain every year on the 4th, man. So, anyway, what about you?
I haven't been outside too much, but we're getting to that. We're getting ready to start having weddings at my house again.
Boy, make sure we get
What's your number?
He's been out of country.
Is there any noticeable increase up and down these drainage ditches we have in town?
We have, the variables involved. Sometimes when we have stagnant water in some of these places in these drainage ditches, it becomes a problem. So we're trying to treat those, and if it gets bad enough in some of these areas, then I will approach you to see if there's something we can do about it. For instance, like in some of our other cities that we control, we've had culverts get debris and stuff jam up against it, and it causes pools of water and stagnant. The water gets stagnant in those areas, and then we have to go to the city and ask them. But for the most part, y'all should feel your city's in it's pretty good shape. I mean, that is a problem and always will be, so we got to stay on top of it because we get these torrential rains at times, and it changes up the dirt work in all these ditches. So you have to keep an eye on it, because then you'll have pools of water in places you didn't have. So that is something we do. We try to keep it checked. We kind of each year we've got like a list, and we kind of go back and refer back to it so that we know to, try not to miss something. But anytime anybody's out, like with the city, if they're involved or whatever, and they see something that could be an issue, it'd be really appreciated to have that, sent to the office or whatever, so we can go check it. And also, I want to say a big thanks to the city of Kennett. They sent my son off for 9 months. It was incredible send up. So.
We appreciate your service.
You might want to clarify that.
Yeah, they didn't send him off to penitentiary. They sent him off to do his duty for about 9 months elsewhere. Okay. That is such a big deal. I did leave a little bit out. I wondered that. I don't know, there's good. It's an all around good thing and everything, but I did tell him jokingly, I was like, if you wanted to go to jail, son, why didn't you just try to rob a bank? Because he has no choices, but he's doing something good. I mean, I couldn't be more proud. But anyway. No other questions? Please, if you have any constituent concerns or anything that needs to be brought to our attention, please call the office. Yes, sir.
I've had a few complaints from a few citizens, and when you're looking at this, I see sometimes about the truck running pretty fast down the street.
Okay.
Nothing on.
Well, then they're going over the
because
speed.
it's going too fast and big.
Well, if there's nothing on, then there's an issue there, because this thing is regulated. It's set up to where at 5 miles per hour it kicks on. Below 5 miles per hour it will kick off. Like if you pull up to a stop sign, it will kick off out of regards to somebody pulling up behind you. Okay, and it's made to go up to 20 mile per hour, dispense the right amount of chemical, right droplet sizes, etc. I don't want anybody running 20 mile per hour. It will kick off after 20, or at 20, it'll kick off, the alarm will go off.
Kicked off, cause they talk like they're
But-
going faster than that.
No, I'd like to know immediately on these concerns, but see, I got a GPS set up in it, so I can go back and look and pull it up and see what's going on, whether they did not realize. You know, sometimes you hire folks, they just want to just drive, they may not ever look back here to see it's not spraying or something. So I need to know these concerns, these things immediately, then I can address it and fix it. And, make sure we catch up on that. You see what I'm saying? Go back and catch it up, fix it.
Do you know what area that was in?
I don't know.
Oh.
It's just different.
Well, a lot of times in neighborhoods, when people drive 20, 25 miles an hour, if you're standing there, people think they're flying. So, I'm not saying
But
that's
in
the
all honesty,
situation.
it's made to work properly from 5 mile an hour to 20. But ideally, perception wise, when you get above 15, that's a problem. And I don't know, it bothers me going above 15 anyway.
If I get any more complaints, I'll try to get more specific.
All right, I will be answering the phone and I can talk to him.
You're not driving a truck, are you?
No.
Not
Not
yet.
that experience.
It seems like.
Yeah, that's your next job. I'm gonna let her go as observer. I gotta get to go as observer a lot.
Stuff like that.
I didn't know about
Thank you.
Thank you.
Appreciate y'all. Thank you.
In your package, you have the city abstract for June. Approval.
Motion.
Second.
It is, because this is last year's. Sure. Okay, if you all will mark your calendars for August the 3rd at 6 o'clock here in the council room, there's going to be a community-wide meeting. We have invited school, family services, fire, police, council members, community leaders, landlords, churches, pretty much anybody we could think of that has an impact on the city itself. And the purpose of it is just to try to talk to everybody and brainstorm and see what it is that we need to do to try to make our city better. The homicide over the weekend, we're losing too many young people at an early age. And with the fireworks situation, the kids just without their respect and all. So please make your plans to be here August 3rd, 6 o'clock. And it would be wonderful if we have to have people out in the hall. But that's what we're gonna try, and that's another part of trying to do something about the fireworks.
Is it okay if I say something?
Sure.
I came tonight just to tell you that last week when I was here, how heavy my heart was, and I didn't think I could really talk and tell how we had been mistreated because my heart was hurt. But I came tonight to tell you, thank you. Thank you for everything that you're trying to do. I know you can't settle things overnight, and I really appreciate what you done. And Mr. Walter, about the mosquito man, he comes on Baldwin Street driving really, really fast. Yes, he was telling the truth about that, but I felt that he was afraid of some of the guys standing up there on that corner, you know, the groups, and I'd be scared to pass by there myself. Maybe he was thinking they may try to do something to him. But we've been looking at the mosquito man going too fast on our street, but he still, spray was coming out. But I just felt, I don't like to complain about nobody that's doing something good, but I thought maybe he was just afraid of some of those guys standing up there in those groups and really don't want to move out of they wait.
Good to them.
And I wish I could be at the meeting August the 3rd, but we'll be in Florida. We're leaving on the 3rd that morning. We have my husband's family reunion, and we won't be back until 6.
Well, you'll have more fun than we will.
Yeah, I would like to know, since we came and brought all of this up, I didn't want to miss their meeting about this, but this time we can't be here, but thank you. And I just wanted to tell you, thank you from the bottom of my heart, because people was telling us, y'all ain't gonna get nothing done, they don't care about what's going on in our neighborhood. And so now, I can tell them, you need to go and see what you can get done. Young people are getting killed because we standing back, not saying things. You wait until somebody gets hurt before you try to open your mouth. We need to talk to those young people while they're living and tell them to come to church and do the right thing. Don't wait till they die, because you ain't did nothing but fail them. But again, thank you, thank you, thank you.
Thank you for
Thank you,
speaking up.
ma'am.
We appreciate that.
Thank you,
Mr.
sir.
And you too, Mr. Warren.
Mr. Mayor, can I
On a
follow?
personal note, I'd like to commend the council, the entire city council for taking this situation under consideration, because it is getting a little bit hairy every year. And like I said, I'm afraid that sooner or later they're gonna stop using those fireworks, and next year we might be faced with handguns. So we need to be seriously thinking about what's going on right now. I've heard more ordinances lately around here in the last 2 weeks than I've heard half of my military career. And it's sad to have to go through something like this, being a citizen in this neighborhood. And I also thank the KAIT and KFVS for speaking with the mayor concerning this problem. So there was something that really needed to be addressed, and maybe this will put more light on the subject and more people will show up. As Moai said, I'm just sorry that we won't be able to be here, because I really wanted to attend this discussion with the people and the citizens here in Kennett about what their actual feeling is about these fireworks ongoing. So once again, thank you all, and kudos to our police department, because without you all, this will be the wild, wild west.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you.
To follow up on what Ms. Walker said about the driving mosquito trucks, when the city was doing that, on more than one occasion, they came in and said that they had rocks or limbs, or people jumped out in front of them intentionally trying to get them to stop, when there's a gang around and that type of stuff. So I will say that is very likely, and just pass that on to your men too. There were several individuals that the drivers knew, and I knew too when I was driving it, that it did harass the mosquito truck. So.
Yeah, we deal with that on a regular basis, and I tell the people we hire, we don't want them to be very uncomfortable or in a bad way. So, I mean, if it gets serious enough on the street, then I'll approach the council or the mayor and the chief about maybe getting an escort temporarily or something to try to resolve that, or whatever's necessary. But, and if they get scared, if it bothers them where they're at, if that's I tell them to leave the street and go elsewhere and take care of where, But when it gets serious, we have had everything from broken glass to 9mm slugs caught in the chemical tank.
Well, killing mosquitoes isn't worth that. Somebody else really getting hurt. So.
That's a good point, Randy, and that's another aspect of this community meeting. It's not just fireworks. It's all the other associated problems we got in town, and how can they be brought to light and come up with some solutions and kind of change the direction of things. Obvious, some of these things are getting way out of hand, and we can't always have a policeman stand on every corner to make sure people do what they ought to do. So hopefully with community involvement, we start getting ahead on some of this and improve the whole situation. So just a reminder, August we have two sales tax issues coming up. We'll be getting a lot more information out between now and then. To discuss this, there's the half-cent sales tax, which is split 1/8 to seniors projects and 3/8 to stormwater. The other is the use tax, and I think Steve's going to put up with me on the radio in the morning for a few minutes, and we're going to try to discuss these issues, try to get the public more informed, and encourage them to get out and vote yes for both of these things. use tax, and to be honest, I don't know if I thoroughly understand it myself, but the main thing there is positioning the city so we can participate in the revenue that will be forthcoming. And I think that's very important, and of course, we're also in the process of talking with the DNR on a stormwater permit, which has expired, and trying to boil down exactly what their requirements are to get recertified. Right now, the range is pretty far. You don't have to do a whole lot, and reading some of the material they got on it, I guess nothing's totally impossible, but boy, it's getting awful close to it. When, they want you to go out there and get samples every time it rains, and send these into the lab, and it just goes on and on and on. So we're in the midst of trying to get to the bottom of that, exactly what the requirements are, but I can tell you right now, whatever it is, it's gonna cost money. So we need that tax passed. We'll have some revenue to start taking care of these type of situations, taking care of 3rd Street. I see Randy's report, it's getting worse. It's gonna have to be dealt with, and it's gonna be very expensive when we do that. Do you have anyone else who'd like to comment? We have 2 speakers here tonight.
You can't hide behind her.
One's already hiding. It's always a standard joke when you go to a meeting. We appreciate y'all coming in, and hopefully we haven't discouraged you, but maybe enlightened you a little bit about what goes on and some of the concerns. I can't speak for too many previous councils, but I think we've got a couple of younger members on our council now, which is great.
Thank you.
Thank you.
And then we got one middle of the road on. But, I do think that's important to find out what goes on in your city government, get involved. It's a real education process. Personally, I spent a lot of years in Kennett, didn't worry too much about what was going on in the city government. For some reason, I decided to get involved, and the first year was a total education process. There's a whole lot to learn. So, thank y'all for getting involved in that. Anyone in the council have anything else they would like to bring up at this point?
I have one thing. Mr. Chief Dennis, how many cars, patrol cars, were you using there this weekend?
This weekend, we had a total of about 14.
Yes. And can you tell us why that's such a good thing to have that many patrol cars for situations?
Well, several years ago, we went to a take-home policy for the officers. Reason for that, before that, we've always had anywhere from 4 to 6 police cars. And in today's world, in today's society that we live in, there's just no way that can function anymore. These officers are assigned to these cars. It's like their office. Say 4th of July night, we had 4, 8, about 10 vehicles out. We had a call from Crosville needing assistance over there. Time we got there, everything was taken care of, and there was 6 over there, including myself. When we come here, we finished up some duties here because they were starting to shoot fireworks at the police then. But anyway, it's just safe to have that. Like I said, the officers have their cars. They're accessible to them. We don't have to wait or come up here to go pick people up. We can't use our own personal cars anymore. Insurance won't allow it. City insurance plus their own personal liabilities. And this department couldn't function if we were back on 4 to 6 cars. Now when we get a call several years ago at Halloween, or the graduation, a homicide that night, you had probably 16 officers at the graduation back then because we had some threats back several years ago. And when that happened, we still had people on the street. The city's still got a function. We're still out here answering calls and serving the public. So therefore, all those vehicles. And then when you have your homicide, you got people leaving from the graduation, some stay there. And then you have to have people called in to work this because everything's got to work quick. You gotta secure the scene, you gotta find out how many victims you got, how many suspects you got, and sometimes they're out moving around. So we were able to call people in, they were able to put them in strategic places and assign them to different areas. So therefore, having that many cars saves a lot of time, saves a lot of our time as far as picking people up or having them run up the station, hopefully somebody will pick them up and take them somewhere. That just doesn't do anybody any good. And also, we do a lot of mutual aid work, whether it's Brothersville, Haypack, even up to Saxton, we have different community things in the summertime we do. We have the task force, when the violence starts occurring, whether it's in Haypack, Brothersville, Saxton, Cape Girardeau, Poplar Bluff. We got all a mutual aid type thing. We got a task force developed, and we all go and work in different areas, and sometimes they'll come here and they help us. That's all for safety, and that takes all of your places that you're having a lot of violence in, or the appearance of a lot of violence, and we can move people in, and we can clear these places out, and get things back to settling down and get quiet again. But in today's policing, especially community policing, we've got to be out and about, and the only way you can do that, you've got to have the vehicles to do it. To have 4 to 6 cars, as we used to have, there's just no way you can do it. I know when we done this, the council took some heat, I took some heat, wanted to know why. If those are the answers, just the other night alone, we had 13 cars out, plus we had to bring out some more cars out and call people out. And we don't have time to go pick them up at their house, and they don't have time to come up here and pick them up at the station. We've got to send them to specific areas, calm things down quick. And it's all about timing, and it's all about speed.
I have a question.
Yes, sir.
Correct me if I'm wrong, but not too long ago, didn't we have a curfew in effect?
You have a curfew during school.
So it's still in effect?
During school and schools, essentially.
Have you ever thought about looking at the aspect of possibly, I may be wrong in this, but possibly putting in a curfew now because the situation's getting ridiculous even during,
There's a
kids
lot
don't
of-
have anything to do.
There's a lot of things we try to do in there, and you have to work with the juvenile department. There's several agencies we gotta deal with. We gotta get, council married, get it approved. But yes, we've got a lot of things we're working on, we're redoing some policies in order to start, cracking down on some of these issues we're having. Yes, we're gonna be taking care of a lot of stuff, we've got a lot of good stuff planned, community involvement stuff, and hopefully we can get this thing in the direction where it needs to be. But thank you all, because I always ask people, if they don't come in and tell us, we don't know.
What about the music they play in their cars?
Yes, ma'am.
Oh, it's beautiful too.
Yes, ma'am.
They come out there with the loud music.
Excuse me, Vegas here, they have several tickets for, live music and all that, and noise and stuff like that. But then again, vehicles are, they're mobile, they can go from here to there. Time we get there, they're gone. If they're there, we'll give them a choice to turn it down. If not, we do it another way, let them talk to the judge and tell them why they think they can play the music that loud when nobody else can. And the judge will